Swift Billy to snatch her purse. No, nothing like that, Miss Chelsea, Molly assured her importantly. Mr. Perrigot said there's a real gent in the audience tonight, worth a few pounds by the look of him, he is. Mr. Perrigot said he could be very important to all of us. Important for the sake of his wallet, he means. And whoever he is, he's no gentleman if he's come slumming to this part of London to watch a sad lot like ourselves. Molly seemed disappointed in the way Chelsea received her news. Anyways, Mr. Perrigot said you'd know what to do. Uncle Cosmo means that while I'm on stage I should make an effort to capture the man's attention so Swift Billy can do his work. That's the beginning and end of it, Chelsea told her disgustedly. Wake up, Molly. Get your head out of the clouds. You're a nice girl. You don't belong with Uncle Cosmo and the rest of us. I don't want my head out of the clouds, Miss Chelsea. I like it up here, and I know if I do everything Mr. Perrigot says, someday I'll be just as grand and important as you are. You're a stage star, miss. I know I'll never be beautiful like you, but Mr. Perrigot said he's going to make me into a lady, a real lady. Mr. Perrigot said you'll teach me everything he taught you. You will, won't you, Miss Chelsea? Chelsea sighed inwardly. What was the point in hurting Molly's feelings? Still, genuine pity and concern prompted her to say kindly, Molly, Uncle Cosmo is a crooked little weasel, and I hate to admit I'm related to him by blood. He's going to get us all to stay in jail if we don't keep our wits about us. He's right about one thing, though. I'm going to make something of myself one of these days, if I can keep 2 steps ahead of the law, that is. Oh, Miss Chelsea, you're such a lady, all nice manners and so refined-like. I want to be just like you, putting on airs and walking so dainty. And when some of them men out front get familiar with you, I love the way you stop them dead with just a quirk of your eyebrow. Can you teach me, Miss Chelsea? Molly asked, looking wistfully at her idol. Can you? Becoming a lady is a very noble ambition, Molly, and you could do worse, I suppose, than to model yourself after me, Chelsea replied after a moment's deliberation. The first thing you have to do to be a lady is to tell Uncle Cosmo an emphatic no when he sets up a mark for you tonight. Look him right in the eye and tell him you have too much honour and character to stoop to thievery. You tell him right to his face you'd rather starve than steal. But I don't like being hungry, Miss Chelsea, Molly whined. You've got your honour and character already, so I suppose you didn't mind it too much. Chelsea glanced at Molly, then quickly looked away. She thought about the times she'd been hungry, starving really, but even worse was the loneliness and the fear. And at the tender age of 11, she hadn't known which was worse. It all seemed so long ago, almost as if it had happened to someone else in another life, but it hadn't. The dirty, ragged child who had hidden in alleyways and cellars was herself. Her memories were sharp, painful, and there were times like now when they returned in a sudden rush, like the sea overcoming the shore, obliterating the present and returning her to the past. She had lived then in a section of London bordering Knightsbridge. Mum and Da had a little shop just off Candlewick Street, where they sold dry goods and notions, and Mum's home-baked pastries and freshly preserved jams. If Chelsea closed her eyes, she could smell the wonderful aromas coming from the kitchen behind the shop. She could still hear Da's booming voice as he welcomed a familiar face into the shop. "Will there be anything else?" Da would ask as he licked the tip of his pencil before tallying up the bill. Chelsea liked to sit near him behind the counter, the sun streaming in through the shop window to warm her even on the coldest winter day. Warmer than the sun was Da's smile, and the way he'd wink at her to jump down from her stool and run to open the door for a cash customer. She was an only child, a rarity in Knightsbridge, where the families numbered 9 or 10, often even more, and she was spoiled, or so it was said, nurtured on love and rewarded with candy. Mum was handy with a needle, and Chelsea's dresses were never too short or shabby. The newest dimities and lisle wools hung in her room, and Da saw to it that she had 2 new pairs of shoes every year. Her coats were the warmest, and Mum always knitted her a new pair of gloves. Chelsea was possibly the best-dressed child in the little academy school at the end of Saul's Lane, except perhaps for the undertaker's daughters, who weren't very pretty in spite of their costly dresses. But even more precious than the security and comfort Mum and Da offered were their love and approval, something she hadn't